No, I did say that. Why did I talk about No, I already said that. I got kids without shirt. I got shirts and
Hi. How are you?
There's a boy.
can't see me. Now I
Huh? Probably most of the period. Why? Probably all of the next period will be
Yeah.
Sorry, Tommy, I'm very distracted. Thinking about my bracket. Hey, Brooke, did you hear who I was winning on the wall for brackets?
No, you didn't tell me.
Want to take a guess? Yeah. I actually have one of my brackets. I have it Michigan State for the final.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. 1 out of 3 games. We played 3 times this year. Not this year. Hey!
Michigan State will.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started today. We're here today. I want to talk about 2 different things today. This one today, it's gonna be a little bit less of me just standing up here talking, a little bit more of you guys coming up and moving some stuff around, manipulating the smart board. So we'll get to play with a little bit more today for some stuff. We'll go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and start. What should a good introduction have? Somebody go grab one thing off of that list and put it in the correct order. Brendan, go grab one thing off that list, put it in the correct spot. So what should the first thing you have in an introduction be? What's the first thing? Attention grabber. Always good to start out with that. All right. What do we think goes next? Joey, what goes next? What do we think is going to go next? Okay. And what do we think is going on after that? No. All right. What's going next? What's going next? Brooke. All right. So who wants to go ahead and move our last one? All right, Enrique, go move our last one. Well, if it was up high, I wouldn't have it. Hurry up and move it. Hurry up. All right. So this is the listing that we have. This is what we were thinking. You start out with an attention grabber. Do we all kind of agree on this?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. A summary of main points.
No.
No, we wanted to move this one out? Okay. Ooh, not the whole box. All right. So summary of... What?
Click on it first. Maybe you can just move on the box and then just...
Hey guys, how about not all the suggestions at once? All right. I guess we'll have to move on.
Oklahoma State defense.
Guys, all right. Put the brackets away from right now. You save them for lunch, save them for break. Not right now. Not during this. All right. So we're going to start with an attention grabber. That's definitely something we can start with. And we have some examples down here. We have different types of attention grabbers that we can work with. Now, people have asked me about this. I mean, I don't know what to put in the beginning. And what's the one thing that we said was a poor idea, a poor thing to start with? Courtney. A question. Thanks for just yelling it out, Jax, without raising your hand. And that was sarcasm. Don't do that again. All right. Personal story. We have a couple of different options that you could use. I would highly recommend not using a question. So here we have a couple of different things. So I'll let you guys come up and pick one, and then you're match it with the one that it goes to, the area that it goes to. So what is it, and where do you think that it's going to go? Jackson, why don't you go up and you're gonna have to read through the one. So read it out loud. Whatever one you're picking, read it out loud so everybody can hear it, and then put it to where you think it should go.
When I first drove down the streets of my new hometown in Alaska, I saw a man and a boy down the road carrying a shotgun and a rifle, a sight which would have roused fear and summoned the police in my previous siege.
Okay, so where do we think that should go? Should it go under a personal story, a relevant quote, an interesting fact, a poor beginning, or a different kind of poor beginning? Okay, a personal story or an anecdote, all right? Next one, who wants to do time? You want to grab the next one. Make sure you read it out loud, whatever it is. Read it out loud.
Many people have options about guns laws in America.
Okay? Many people have opinions about gun laws in America. Where do we think that should go? Poor beginning. Okay. Next one. Brooke, have you gone yet? Braden, I know you've gone yet. Zach, have you gone yet?
Yeah.
Anybody else want to go that hasn't gone yet?
I wrote something.
Emma, go grab it. Make sure you read it out loud. Move it into the right position.
Wayne Lapierre from the National Rifle Association said that the best defense against a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun.
Okay. So somebody said that the best defense against a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun. So we don't agree with that, but that's what that guy said.
Oh, here.
Okay. We have two more up there to move. Courtney, go move one.
21% of registered U.S. voters stated in a recent poll that air raid rebellion might be necessary in the near future to protect civil liberties.
Did you guys catch that? What that says? Once it's in there, it's stuck.
I didn't check.
All right. Finally, our last one.
The top one.
Finally, our last one. Brooke, go move our last one.
I think
Who's all about?
We should be careful about making laws which affect everyone, regardless of whether they live
Quiet,
in a
please.
or village or not.
Okay. Brooke, I'm sorry, but could you read that again for the people who decided to be talking while you were reading?
I think that the national government should be careful about making laws which affect everyone, regardless whether they live in New York City or village or not.
Okay.
Why is that?
Well, that's the question I want to ask. Why do you think that this is a poor beginning?
Since your opinion.
Jax, why?
Since your opinion.
And whose opinion is it?
The writer.
The writer's opinion, right? You're not coming to an actual source. And who is the writer? We don't know who the writer is. And as informed as you guys are on something, I'm sorry, but on the topic of gun control laws, do you think that there's a 7th grader in the building that's an expert on gun control?
Probably not.
Probably not. I can't imagine there are. There are some of you who might have some very strong opinions for different reasons on it, but there's probably not an expert in the room. So you stating your opinion as a beginning sentence, this is not necessarily the best introduction. Why is this other one down here, this other poor beginnings, why is it not a good introduction either? Why is it not a good attention grabber?
It's just like one sentence.
it doesn't explain anything. It doesn't tell you anything. It's really kind of weak when you read it. Many people have opinions about gun laws in America. Well, many people in America have opinions about lots of things. Many people in America have opinions on what you should put on French fries. Does that mean I need to write a paper about it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's just, it's rather weak, and it doesn't really tell me anything. It's not very specific. And saying many, like how many? Whenever you guys write, one of the things that I want to encourage you while you're writing is whenever you feel the need to write many, don't. Don't write many. Give me a number. Tell me how many. Because that's the question I want to know. When you say many people feel this way, well, how many? 7? 7 out of 10? Because that's many in a group of 10, but 7 out of 100 isn't many. How many? I need to know. So whenever you feel the need to say many, don't. A, it's weak. 2, it's non-specific. Okay, next one. So actually, let's kind of really quickly go back to this. This personal story, though, it does have to do with you, but it's actually really interesting. How many of you, if you were walking down the street today, let's say you were walking to your neighborhood, you're walking through your neighborhood, you're going to a friend's house in your neighborhood, and you're walking down the street, on the other side of the road from you was walking a guy with a shotgun and a rifle. How many people would get a little bit scared?
Dude, I'd be robbing eye contact.
I would too. I grew up in a subdivision in Michigan. Like that's what like I had a little subdivision and we were like nice. No, not Detroit. Detroit, a shotgun and a rifle would not be that scared. It would be pretty commonplace. I would think. Well, the rifle might be a little odd, but you'd probably just figure he was police or in a gang or something. But it might still be scary. It wouldn't be as. But where my dad lives in Michigan, my dad lives out in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. When I go up to his house, there's a lot of hunters all year round. They duck hunt, they deer hunt, they hunt for coyotes and sometimes, occasionally, bears. Coyotes. They.
Let my guy cry. He's teach. Can you kill something?
There are people constantly out hunting things. And so when I'm up at my dad's house in the middle of nowhere, it's not that surprising if you were to be driving down the road or walking down the road and you see somebody on the other side of the road in all camo carrying a rifle and a shotgun. It wouldn't be that weird. In fact, you probably wouldn't even notice it. So these two different things, he tells a great story. This guy moved from probably a big city. In fact, you'll see later that he talks a little bit about New York. I'm assuming it's a he, maybe it's a she. But they live in New York, where it would be extremely frightening to see somebody walking down the street with a shotgun and a rifle in their hands. And definitely the cops would be called. And then he moves up to Alaska, where people do a lot of hunting and carry shotguns and rifles on a regular basis. Sometimes, depending on where they work, to keep themselves safe from wolves and bears and different things. And so, it's a totally different thing. It's very shocking. But this is a good story to illustrate the differences and when it comes to gun control. And we can talk about the topic of gun control later, but we're not going to right now, because we're talking about introductions. So the next thing you want a definition of a main topic, okay? After grabbing your reader's attention, you must define your essay's topic, which is that orange section that we've done really well with. Define your essay's topic so they know what your essay will be about. Imagine that your essay is about national versus local gun laws. Under each attention grabbing first sentence, place the sentence which does the best job of connecting the opening with the main idea of the upcoming essay. So, we have an attention grabber here in the blocks, and next to it we have a list of topic sentences. What you need to do is I'm going to read off the first colored block, and you need to figure out which one of those sentences goes in that colored block, and then you guys are going to go up and move it over. Okay? I'll also go up and move it. So here's the first colored block. This is your first attention-grabbing sentence. When I first drove down the streets of my new hometown in Alaska, I saw a man and a boy walking down the road carrying a shotgun and a rifle, a sight which would have aroused fear and summoned the police in my previous city. What should be the next topic sentence? What should be the topic sentence that goes along with that? To let you know. Out of those sentences on the right-hand side, which one should be the topic sentence?
So you read the right one, you read the right one.
You're gonna go over and you're gonna go up there and read through them and move it over and then read it aloud.
So move the one that's not in the box over.
Correct. Just like we've been doing. Ready? I'm giving suggestions.
There's a box on the old move. There you go.
Yeah, you just put it in there. Once it's in that box, it's stuck. Okay, most people who own guns are good people who like to hunt or target shoot. Okay, let's look at our next box. 29% of registered U.S. voters stated in a recent poll that armed rebellion might be necessary in the near future to protect our civil liberties. Which one of, that's your attention-grabbing sentence. What one of those other statements next would probably go along with that? Courtney.
Let's read it.
Oh wait, Courtney, have you gone up before already? Yeah, Anna, go grab it. No, that's Anna Ryan. That's the same thing. That's Anna Ryan. Also known as Sal.
Well, I should call it Salazar. His last name is Waller.
The possibility that gun laws may be changed at the federal level arouses strong feelings in many people throughout the country, both pro and con. Okay. Finally, Wayne LaPierre from the National Rifle Association said that the best defense against a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun. What topic sentence do we think should go with that statement? Out of the four that remain, Zach? Okay. How do we feel about the sentences we've combined, our topic sentences that we've combined? How do we feel about our first topic sentence here? How many people are we liking this one? Let's see. Many people who own guns are good people who like to hunt and or target shoot. Do we think that this kind of matches up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does match up. I think that the many opinions about gun laws are affected by one's location in the country. I think that's also good because it does this sort of shows that duality, that if you live out in the country in the middle of some place where people farm a lot, having a gun is totally different than if you're living in a large city with lots of people. And in fact, if you go to those places and go to those areas, you'll find those different sides to the issue. Myself, living in Joliet, I really do not like the fact that people can own and obtain guns as easily as they can. I don't like it. It's too easy. They're too easy to get a hold of. My dad, who lives out in the middle of nowhere and hunts, is a major hunter, plans all year and hunts, and that's his favorite thing to do. He doesn't like the restrictions that are being put on being able to get guns and doesn't like the fact that it's too hard to get them. So we live in two very different places, and we deal with very different issues. Where I live in Joliet, unless you consider, the idea of protecting yourself, there's no reason at all that I need to own a gun. I don't hunt. Occasionally deer cross over from the forest preserve and eat leaves off my tree when in a very cold winter, but that's just like really cute. I don't actually go out shooting. Now, that doesn't mean that when my dad goes hunting, that I don't like request venison steaks and venison jerky from him, because I do like it. It tastes good. I like it. But I don't personally have any need whatsoever to have a gun. No, I have a baseball bat. And technically, you can't shoot somebody in your house anyways. It's like you can't. It's against the law.
You can't shoot anybody.
Only if they threaten force. But we're not getting on the gun issue right now. We can't. We gotta stick with this. We gotta stick with the introduction. All right. So, our other one here, the possibility that gun laws may be changed at the federal level, arouse strong feelings in many people throughout the country. I think this is a good matchup. We show these strong feelings. 29%. 29%. That's almost a third of the people polled. Almost a third of the people polled believe that we should have a armed rebellion in this country. Basically another civil war over this idea. People have very strong feelings. Okay? Alright, next one. End your introduction with a thesis and 2 or 3 reasons. So, we're going to take a look at the list. You need to pick out which one's the best thesis and which ones are the best reasons. So we have 4 statements, and then we have a listing of different reasons. So, I know it's kind of a little bit hard to read. Let's see if I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. But we're going to miss like the bottom half of it. Okay. Whoa, hello. Yeah, what? Nope. What I have there is what I have. Most of the time, we're in our okay, so we have, let's see here. Here are our four things, our 4 thesis statements. Gun laws can be national or local. Neither national nor local gun laws prevent recent mass shootings. People should be able to buy any type of gun they want. National gun laws must reflect local conditions and traditions to be fair and effective. Which one of these do we think is the best thesis? Jax, which one do you think it is?
National gun laws must reflect local conditions and traditions to be fair.
Okay, how many people agree with that being the best thesis on the board? That's the best. National gun laws must reflect local conditions and traditions to be fair and effective. How many people agree that's the best thesis on the board? Anybody have a differing opinion? There's a better one. No, I'm asking. Does anybody have a differing opinion? Anybody think there's one out there that's better? All right, Jax, go ahead and move that up into the pink box. Okay, here's our next one. So now we need to find 2 to 3 reasons to go along with. Why? Okay. So here are our reasons. Here are the reasons. Which 2 or 3 are the best to back up what we said? Because guns serve different purposes in different locations. Because of the Second Amendment. Because urban and rural environments are different. Because guns are everywhere. Because not everyone is armed. And because people need to protect themselves. Which 2 or 3 reasons best support our thesis? What's one of them? Okay, how many people agree that that is one of the really good ones? Okay, Brayden, go ahead and move that up into the box. Yeah. Okay. Okay, never mind. It's there. Sometimes I love these ones I don't write. Good. What do you think's another one? Okay, good. Because people need to protect themselves. How many else? That's another good reason that goes along with our statement. Our thesis statement again is the following. National gun laws must reflect local conditions and traditions to be fair and effective. Do we think that the statement, because people need to protect themselves, goes along with that thesis statement? No. What one goes along with it better? You think so too? Because urban and rural environments are different, how many people agree with that one? Okay. Should I go ahead and move that up to the bottom? Alright. Okay. I think those are some of our best. And then finally, we have our final thing to put these back in order. So now we're going back to where we started from in the beginning. We want to put these back in order. Okay? So earlier we put the statements in order, or the headings of what they were in order. Now we're going to put the statements themselves in order. So what should go first? What should be the first thing that goes up into that box? Okay, go ahead and move it. Okay, what's the next thing that needs to go in? So we have our attention grabber. What's the next thing that should go in there? We need our thesis statement or our topic sentence. Which one is it? What one should we put in there? Yeah, you can move it. Which one is it? Anyone excited for it? Greg, what do you think?
I think we need to let the concert effect of one
Okay. So now we have our thesis statement. What comes next? After the thesis statement, what comes next? The reasons, right? So what's our first reason, Enrique? Go ahead and grab it. You can walk up there and grab it. There are two different ones that you can move.
Oh, that's two.
Not that one.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't start with the word because. Because is one of your
I
reasons.
think this one, but that doesn't start with because.
Not one of the two
It
reasons.
starts with connection.
That's wrong. Yep.
I think it's which one because I didn't know there was a second.
No, yours was fine. And then what's the next one? The next reason that needs to go up there? Tommy, go get it. And then finally, our closing statement, our last thought on it. It's going to help the reader understand where we're going and what we're talking about next. In some respects, you could consider this a transitional statement. This is what we're going to be talking about first. Is this. I'll move it. National gun laws must reflect local conditions and traditions to be fair and effective. All right. Moving on. So that was introductions. We talked a little bit about what makes a good attention grabber, how they should be set up, how your paragraph should be set up. So when you're looking at your introductory paragraph, some people have looked at their outline and they say, Mr. Bittner, you just have an attention grabber and the main statement here. Is that all that goes into an introductory paragraph? What did we just learn? No. There's other things. You need to put your reasons behind that in there, which are going to be your three yellow statements. You're going to add those into your introductory paragraph. Then you need to have transition out. Transition sentences go along with your paragraph. They help move things along. They help transition you from one idea to the next idea. If you were to consider your essay as 5 paragraphs standing in a group, the transitions help them hold hands and stay together. Okay? It keeps them together in a group. Like 5 little kids that you're taking someplace. And you don't want them to wander off and get lost. You make them hold hands, or you get one of those child leashes, something. They're gonna hold on to it. In fact, I've actually seen they have this thing now where it's like it's basically like a long rope, and each kid has a little clip, and you just clip them onto the little rope, and then you can just like drag them all like a little herd of ducks everywhere you go. But the transitions are the things that keep your groups together, that keep your paragraphs together. The transitions are what make your essay an essay and not a collection of paragraphs. Okay? So, can we spot the transitions in... Okay, so here's our sentence. Still she waited. Would Miles put back the nails? At last, standing tiptoe on the cot, she grasped the bars of the window, pulling herself up till she could see just through. Rain blew into her face, but at the next flash of lightning, looking down, she saw that the yard was empty. And before the thunder followed, in a pause while wind and rain held back for one brief moment, she thought she heard, fading in the distance, the tinkling little melody of the music box. The tucks, her darling, the tucks were gone. What? Where are the transitions in this one? Can we spot the transitions? Where is the transition? Jax, where's the transition? Yeah. Okay. There is one. Are there any other transitions in this paragraph? Jalen, you're nodding. Where's another one?
Oh my gosh.
Go circle it.
What did you say?
Okay, and before the thunder followed, it gives you another sense of time. Are there any more transitions in this sentence, in this paragraph? Braden? Not really. It's sort of it does give you sort of an idea of space. There's one last one. Still, it tells you that something is continuing to go on. Gives you a passage of time. Still. How do supporting sentences flow smoothly through a paragraph? By using transitions. Here are some examples of transitions for you to use. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look through this list. Now, there's a bunch of ones on here. Who can spot the weak ones? Give me a weak one. Somebody give me a weak one. Where's the weak transition? A weak transition. Danny, go cross off a weak transition. A weak transition. Which means that it doesn't mean, when I say a weak transition, that doesn't mean it's non-transition, that you can't use it. It's just not one of the best ones to use. Good job. First. First is a weak transition.
Do I give it to someone now?
Yes.
You pick.
Where's another? Lastly is also a weak
I was gonna
transition. No, I want you to know, I'm not saying that these are bad, that you shouldn't use them. I'm just saying that they're not the strongest. They're not the best.
She's so pretty.
Yeah. Scribble. You guys are all scribblers.
Yet.
Oh.
Jack,
I
I
would-
would snatch you out to his hand.
Courtney, I'll have you hand the pen off once more, and then we'll kind of look
I'll
at
hand it to
maybe
McCoy because
Which one did you do?
finally.
Finally.
Give it to Enrique. Enrique's wide open. That's not a boy. Yeah, that's not a boy, Courtney.
Oh! Sorry.
I never said that. Boy, girl.
I said it was.
I still got one more.
All right. There are some more up here. We can cross off secondly. Secondly is probably
Additionally,
and I would actually say that secondly is probably weaker than yet or also. But not to say that yet and also aren't also kind of weak. But secondly is first of all, how many times like secondly just sounds funny, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Secondly, firstly, secondly, first, secondly, thirdly. It just sounds weird. It just sounds weird. So, but we do have some better transitions in here. Furthermore means almost the same thing as secondly. It means you're moving on to something else that is related, that is connected. Furthermore, certainly, it also means about the same thing as furthermore. In light of, this is a great one to use if you have some sort of really great piece of information to explain about someone. In light of. Unquestionably. On the contrary, if you're showing differing opinions, on the contrary is a great one to use. Mrs. Campesano has a large series, a list of transitions for you that I will get from her and have in the lab. So you guys can work on those tomorrow. Or today when we're in there. Let's see here. So, we have some words. You guys are moving words.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Ooh, I got this.
I haven't got it all.
Anna, grab a word, tell me what the word is, and then move it into a transition words or non-transition words. Oh, I got the marker. Here.
I can't catch it.
I see.
Non-transition.
The is a non-transition word. Enrique, go grab one.
what about the next boy?
But is the a transition word? It's not. Sorry.
Wait, what's the transition? Oh yeah, I know.
Gentlemen. Zach, you're not even facing the right direction.
I think.
What was it?
Therefore.
Therefore. Excellent transition word.
Which one?
Emma, no, I'm.
Oh.
See if I can do
But
this.
actually no, hate.
However.
Hate is
However is a transition word. Kevin. Okay. That's great. What is it? Lastly is a transition word. So go ahead and move it over into transition words. Lastly is a transition word.
That's the
It's-
definition I use. Yeah, but it's no transition.
Guys, notice what it says. It doesn't say weak transition words versus transition words. It says non-transition words. Alright, so some of these are non-transition words. Brooke, what is grab a transition word. What was your word, Brooke? First is a transition word. First is a transition word. Braden.
Can I erase what I did?
No. What is that? Obviously is a transition word. Obviously it is.
Tisk.
Oh my gosh.
Taylor.
Obvious.
Generally, right? Generally. John, go grab a transition word. When is not a transition. John, go move when into the non-transition words. It is not a transition word. All right. Julia. Two is a non-transition word. Christian, go grab one. I know, but they're too busy talking and not paying attention.
But I'm gonna
Running is a non-transition word. No. Alex.
My hands are ginormous.
What was it? Going.
I'm talking.
Jackson. Go grab one.
Oh, him.
Dang it.
Oh, what was it?
Granted.
Granted is a transition word. All right, we're gonna move on because I want to talk to you about the last two slides. All right. Go to the lab.
You just picked me up and
My bracket. Huh? Oh, I almost lost it. Okay, then get the permission.
I'm going to borrow one of these over spring break. Is that okay?
Okay.
I don't think anyone needs them right
I
now,
don't
do
think
they?
so. No.
It is in my hand safely.
Okay.